Well, this is my friend Rachel, Right Side Blonde. We do shows together.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And she's writing for the George magazine. So you'll see that in a minute. The George magazine, this one. Remember this?
I sure do. I was going to write the very first editorial for that magazine, but they said they denied it. They were pissed at me because I wrote an anti-Clinton piece, and they said, "No, you're not in here, Roseanne."
Come on, John.
There you go. Well, let's start the show then. So, Granny Roseanne Bart, it's lovely to see you as always. So, welcome to the Psych Club, the Tom Numbers Show. We're going to put this on my YouTube, so we're going to keep it as clean as we can, but as funny as we can, and as many predictions as possible, because we want to hear about your psychic predictions. And
no, they're psycho predictions.
Exactly, psycho predictions. So, Granny Rose, I wanted to kick off. What do you make of Betty Windsor, Queen Elizabeth going? I've worn this. People wonder why I'm wearing this. So it's Baywatch, California, but California comes to 88 in the numbers, which is Trump, and it also comes to Elizabeth. And purple's 88, which is Trump, and it's also Elizabeth. So I'm joining with my brothers and sisters of the English Isles because they're all sad, but I'm also fully with my patriots and with President Trump. So I'm wearing the double comms. But I'm a Trumper, as you know. So, so what do you make of it? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Because Q said about the Queen, and I did it. Me and Rachel did a show with 107 just on the 7th of September, and he guided me gently, and he said about the chess piece, the chess games, and I said, "Oh, what about the Queen?" He said, "Oh, I don't know." But he was smiling and happy and eating shrimp cocktail and steak, and then the next day she goes. So, what do you make of it? What's your thoughts on the Queen of England going? Because it's been a big marker in the Q movement for all of us.
Well, first of all, I think, the passing of the Queen of England is, that's huge in the subliminal seas that we swim. Anybody who speaks in media swims the subliminal seas, and that's huge. It's a huge thing, the passing of the Queen of England, who is like, at the center of the whole Western world. And so it is, the passing of so many things. And she ruled longer than any other monarch in the history of the Windsor family, Why do we know so much about the Windsor family, yet we don't know anything about our own presidents? How come Americans, why are we like that? It's like we know we're being herded into little pens to only, ask questions that we're allowed to ask. That's kind of scary and sad.
Talking of
we should know everything about every one of the people we elect. Like we should know as much about their families as we do about the royals in England, Yeah,
I agree.
But it is a huge passing of about 5 or 6 different eras and wars and ages, and oh my God, look at all the stuff she lived through and all the decisions she made to start which wars where, because she is the one that decides where the wars would go. So she had, to be advised on where she felt she had to send, her energies and her backup to which part of the world to protect, the British interests. And look, the way she did it was like, wow, her advisors, I don't know, they all seem to follow the same thing that King Charles, he's the champion of the whole thing, and the chess game is, I thought that the Queen protects the king, that's what the chess game was about. So yeah, you think about him, he's an interesting sort, the King of England, the new King of England. He's interesting. Those two sons of his are even more interesting. You know, they're
Harry and
just,
William, yeah.
yeah, and their families and all the things they're living through is very interesting to Americans. But once again, we ought to be looking at the people we're getting into office and their families half as much at least as we are looking at the royals over there. That's my suggestion.
Well, I agree. You talked about the presidents, about the US presidents. So this is something that came out pretty soon after it was announced that Elizabeth had gone. So I knew this marker. I knew that it was the 9th month, which is September, and it was on the 8th day. So if you add 9 plus 8, that comes to 17, which is Q, the 17th letter. And if you take it all the way back to Princess Diana in 1997, her funeral service started at 9:08 in the morning, 9 plus 8. I've known that one for a while, but then someone else worked out and added this to it, that the first Q post was posted on the 28th of October. So I checked that, Jack Kidd told me that one, in 2017. And that's 1,776 days to the day when Elizabeth passed on September 8th. So 1776, Roseanne. And we know what that is, you know, 1776. And so it's incredible, the markers that President Trump and the Q team and the Kennedys and all of them are doing. And I would bring
Well,
Diana
they're
into
not
that.
doing it. I mean, they're not the ones doing it. Let's be real. Let's be real crazy psycho Jew lady. Unfortunately for y'all, fortunately for you guys, I am that. Fortunately for you guys, I am that voice, that missing silenced voice forever. But no, y'all, they just discovered what already existed from the mind of our creator. They didn't make it up or invent it. They simply tapped into it. And the 17 is what it is it is the book of Esther, as is everything on this whole social, the whole social level that we're all dealing with, our environment and the stories and the myths and all, and you know, the legends and everything in those subliminal seas that we swim through as a species as we evolve, you know, all of that is the book of Esther. And we are at the boomerang part.
Yes.
That's what everything's about. And that is my psycho prediction.
Well, I like it how you took it even further.
And it's
like,
because
no,
future proves past. Future indeed proves past from the book of Esther, and always will.
Yeah, the boomerang, the flip moment. Very well put. Yes, 17th book in the Bible. Yeah.
You know how we've all been programmed with that, you know, the sands of time thing. It's got the upper thing and then a little funnel thing and then the lower thing, and the sand goes through it, and then they flip it. And you, you know,
egg timer,
egg timer, but it's been around forever, and it's like, you know, it's equal time each time the sands run out. It takes the exact amount of time each time, no matter how you flip it. That's what it's just about, how incredibly calculated that little passage is to allow for that. That's incredible mathematics. Everything in our world is about mathematics, and numbers are the language that we really speak in as a, you know, species of living things that desire to live, you know, and that's more than humans. But yeah, we're in a big, incredible passageway of time right now, and you know, it's all for the good. It's so incredibly good, and I think people really need to hold on to that idea that it is incredibly good. It really, really is.
Roseanne, can you show your headband that you showed? I don't know if we got that.
Oh yeah,
think we cut that
look
part
at
off.
it, crystals. These are all crystals. This was a gift to me. And yeah, because I like crystal energy, and I put them over the crown of my head, which, you know, is called the crown or the corona, because that's where we get our like center balance of our, you know, crown right here, which is where we receive our battery, you know, we receive our recharge, our spiritual charge there at the top of our head, which is called Keter. That's where we get our charge, our battery, our spiritual charge from the universe through the tippy top of our head, our pineal gland.
Roseanne, have you always known about the pineal gland, or has this been something you've figured out? Because I think it's been, a lot of people have woken up in the last year, 2 years, 3 years. So I'm just curious, how long have you known about all of these terms?
Probably a while.
A long
Well,
time.
they're in all of these terms are in our Torah. And that's a thing that's important to me, is that people should know that about the Jewish people. And yeah, they're in our Torah. And, you know, it's so funny because I have my great grandfather's prayer book from, you know, where we came from. We were able to save our prayer books because they always change, you know. So anyways, it'll say a lot about that. And then you'll see how where they traveled, especially when they went to Europe, that all came out. And then they changed it to other words. But yeah, and the words are hidden, but they still mean the same, but they're like layered, you know, and they've been sort of censored, and like they're doing now, you know. They won't let you say too much now, because they're so afraid of that energy, that people might realize what power they do indeed have. They have all the power. And they're so afraid we might wake up to that. But we already have, because we've already seen ourselves in the streets. That's what they really want to censor, is that we would see the people come out and block, you know, the whole planet just standing there. And isn't that amazing to see, especially like when it happened in Belgium and the places you've seen in the world, where people did come out and stand shoulder to shoulder, and no matter what they, you know, it was all the people of every kind standing together, you know. And that's just an overwhelming vision. When you see that in the media, it just stays with you forever, because that's indeed what changes things, what actually makes things change. Not rocks or blood or any of it, you know, just that. And that's great that we've evolved to that when we see in media, we see these incredible pictures and, you know, images that we can replay in our mind's eye, you know, and they give us strength. They give us all kinds of strength because we see them and hear them. Used to be we only could hear them, you know, with radio and stuff, or you could see and hear them, but you have to go to theater, and poor people can't ever go to theater. I don't know what the hell they think. Yeah. But they do have plays and stuff in the park for poor people, which that was cool, because I used to be able to see them when I was a kid, you know. I think they should bring those back, because that's cool that kids get to see like real performance art in the park. That'd be cool. Not where the drag queens and stuff, but I mean like people with real acts and stuff, you know.
I would agree. That's something I would love to take my kids to. I didn't even know that was a thing. So that's interesting.
I think maybe I should start that up. But then I'd have to leave home, so I can't leave home because I'm germophobic now, like Howard Hughes. I can't like touch people or breathe their air or anything. So, you know, because I'm germophobic. I didn't get the shot, so I've been, what do you call it? You know, you have to lock yourself away from humanity.
Yeah. Well, you're in a nice place in Hawaii.
I didn't get, did you?
I'll tell you after the break.
Uh-oh. Well, thank God I'm 70. I have had COVID 2 or 3 times.
Exactly.
And I smoked 5 packs a day too. If you don't have a lot of other shit going on.
Yeah.
You can get over it.
You know your thing about the crystals. So I just did I did the numbers on the crystals, and you were showing that at the beginning, and Rachel showed it to us again. You got to
for my psycho energy. It helps channel my psycho energy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you know what, Roseanne? So that comes to independence, which is 98. So independence, you've got independence thought because you've got the crystal. It focuses your spirit, everything else. And if you say a crystal, that comes to 99, which is ascension, which is patriot. So you're wearing that. And the crown is 73, which is number, which is united, which is kingdom. We've been talking about United Kingdom with Elizabeth. But crystal crown is 171, which is the revaluation, a bolt of lightning. And hopefully we will see many more bolts of lightning kind of surprises in this movie, like we had just a couple of days ago, like we had a few weeks before that. Any thoughts on September 11th? That's coming up tomorrow. Any thoughts on what, do you think we might see something then, or do you think it might be something soon after that date? What do you think? What's your psychicness telling you?
My psycho predictions.
Yeah, your psycho predictions. We should do a regular show called Psycho Predictions with Roseanne. That would be a lot of fun.
My psycho prayer is that I would pray that we don't need to see any more, Lord.
Yeah.
We don't need to see any more horror or terror. We've seen enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord, for letting us see all that we've seen. And now just let us soak it in. Let us take it in. Ingest it. Stop resisting seeing it. Actually see it and know that some of it has to go because it doesn't serve you, Lord. Help us to rid ourselves of it, to rise above it so that we don't channel any more negative here. Help us do more positive things for each other. Help us to come together to find unity, to stand shoulder to shoulder against the real threat to our children. Help us to see what that is, Lord, to see how close it is, to see what is being done to the children who are in the foster care system and other systems such as that in the United States of America. Lord, will you help us that we don't need to see more than what already exists, but to help us to look at it, Lord, and to stop it. Lord, could you make us that strong by tomorrow? If you could, we sure would appreciate it because we have seen enough. We have ignored enough. Now make us conscious of what we must change. If you could do that, we sure would appreciate it. Signed, yours truly.
Amen. I'll add an amen to that. Thank you, Roseanne. That was lovely. That was lovely. Roseanne, we looked at this briefly, I think, before we started recording, but so Rachel writes, or is about to write for the George magazine because it's getting relaunched. And she's dug this one up about you.
Yes, I was like,
what?
what's going on with Roseanne? I'm pretty sure she was on a cover of George. This is from, let's see, November of '97.
Can you see the
Yeah,
picture?
I was writing a thing. They wanted me to write about
there you are.
if I were president, what would I do if I were president? And I said, what I would do is begin immediately to plan to raise money for my reelection. But
You're not wrong. That's what
Yes,
you have
you
to
are.
do.
well, that's what I would
No.
do because that's what they
For
do.
those of you wondering, there's a section at the end of some George magazines that have this. If I were president, they have celebrities that go through and fill out some questions, and so that's what she's referring to.
what she
is
said.
That section. Yep. I would have liked to see that. I would have liked to see your responses.
Maybe,
I'm sure
Roseanne,
it'd be
you
funny.
could be featured in the new George magazine. We've worked with Jean Ho and Rachel.
Only if there's nudity. I'm holding out for nudity.
Well, we could put you right in the center.
Yeah.
I think the world's always wanted to see you nude, Roseanne.
That's
so
right.
I think that's a good idea.
That'll scare them into something.
That's,
That would sell a lot of copies. That would be that. You should be on a retainer for that one.
I'll keep.
A
I'll
lot
let
of
you
people
know.
would repent. I'll tell you what, get a lot of repentance going. I swear to God, it would.
I'll take that back to the boss. I'll let Jean know
Yeah.
what Roseanne is asking. So funny.
What have you been? I know you've been kind of just chilling out in Hawaii doing your thing. Are you still feeling that you've got? What have you got? You've got chickens, and is it sheep? I remember, or goats. What have you got?
I've got whatever's living on this island.
You got them all, have you?
They're just all, you can't control the animals here. There's a lot of
it's not a farm.
pigs
It's they just roam in and out of the garden. Yeah.
It seems more like a pig sanctuary actually now.
Pig sanctuary. Okay.
Mhm.
Rolling in the muck. So
Yeah,
what
they're
do
eating
you
all my avocados and mangoes. They're getting all nicely fatted up, these pigs.
For Christmas?
It's a big difference from Iowa. I know you used to live in Iowa. That's where we are
Yeah,
right
she
now.
told me that yesterday. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a farm there and quite a number of horses at the time.
What part of Iowa were you
I
in?
had
Couple
one
places.
big horse's ass too. That was my husband and Tom.
on a plate. What part of Iowa did you used to reside in, Roseanne, with the horses? What part of Iowa were you in?
Is Elgin, Iowa, outside of Ottumwa, outside of the thriving metropolis of Ottumwa.
Yeah.
Ottumwa.
Up the road from, is it Fairmont or Fairfield, where all the Hare Krishnas are? Fairfield. Yeah, that was rad. That was a really cool place.
Yeah, we're up in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Des Moines is cool too. That's the big city, Des Moines.
Yeah, it's funny going from New York City back to Des Moines. New York City is so vertical, and then when you fly back to Iowa, it's like everything's kind of horizontal again.
Flat. Yeah.
It's like
It's spread out. Yeah, for sure. You're not so crowded, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Have you got any plans to come back to? Oh, there you go. We got you again. Do you have any? I know you were in California a few months ago. Do you have any plans to come back to see family and friends stateside?
I'm coming back to go to Texas, where I have purchased a ranch.
Have you? Are you moving back to the mainland?
I'm moving to Texas.
Good.
Awesome.
When are you coming over? I'm here for a few weeks. Maybe we'll come down and see you. I'm traveling all around the US.
You are?
We're doing a tour.
In a vehicle?
Well, yeah, we'll be in a number of vehicles. So we're starting in Sacramento. We're doing the Truth Tour #2, and we're going around the top over to New York and Boston, and then down to Florida. We're going to go through Texas. We're going to go to Lubbock, and we're into Arizona, and then back into LA. So we'll do that starting the 23rd of September. I think we finish the 20th of October. 17 stops in 30 days. That's what it is.
That does not sound fun at all.
I know. I've asked myself that as well, but I just feel compelled we've got to do it. So, yeah.
Well, are you staying in nice hotels or you have to sleep in your car?
We'll be in hotels. How nice they are, I'm not sure. I'm not the one doing it. I don't know what their budget of it is, but I said I'll do it. You know Mark Atwood from England. Well, he lives in Ireland. But me and Mark, so I'm over, Mark's coming over. So we're the two Brits, but then there's a whole bunch of us with Lewis Holmes doing the event, or events, I should say. We're going to pace ourselves.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Speaking. I'll be doing numbers. Mark will be doing poems. Other people will be doing codes. It's a patriot movement. You know, the ones that Mel K does with the Real Awakening.
She's always telling me to go do that. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like I could do psycho predictions or something.
Yeah, psycho predictions.
I just
Roseanne.
love telling people that here's your choice. It's like, wake up and smell the fucking coffee or die. Those are your choices.
You could do a brand of coffee. Get that. Wake up, smell the fucking coffee, or die. By Roseanne Barr.
Right.
With a bit of Granny Rose, a bit of apple cinnamon with it. Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, well, you know, Mel K, how cool is she, man? She brings the fire, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think we'll see her next weekend because we're at the Reawakening next weekend, and I believe she's at that. So we should be able to see her. We'll say hi. So do you know when you're coming to Texas? Can I ask that, or should I?
Hell no, I don't even know where I'm going in 10 minutes.
Okay, I hear you. We've got a lot of talking to do afterwards, but that's good that you're coming back. That's good.
I'm going to do a special in Houston. I'm doing a stand-up special in Houston in January sometime. I'm filming. I'm going to do a whole stand-up thing. I got my jokes. I finally got my jokes. I'm very excited.
Can you give us one of your new ones? Or one of your old ones? Can you give us one of your official ones?
I can't give you any of my new ones because fuck you, that's my money. But I can give you one of my old ones, which is...
Give us your old ones. Yeah, they're the good ones.
Well, my most famous joke is that a lot of people said, hey, Roseanne, you're not very feminine. So I said, well, suck my dick. That was my I was most famous for that until everyone in Hollywood stole it. The best one that stole it was that Demi Moore. She put that at the end of her movie, G.I. Jane, or whatever the hell that.
Did you get royalties for that?
Oh, of course not. They never pay me for anything they stole from me. But I used to end my act that way back when I began stand-up in the 60s with Jerry Seinfeld, way back in the 60s when we were in our 40s. Okay.
That I'm like doing the math, like what?
Did you keep in touch with Jerry? How's he doing? Do you see him?
I've never spoken to him in my entire life.
You never have?
I've never even met him or anything.
Okay.
We've never met.
What about your boy John Goodman? I was watching him on Bruce Almighty 2. The Bruce Almighty 2, the one with the guy from The Office and Morgan Freeman, and he was in that. And I know he was from what I gather, was a good friend of yours and supported you in recent years. Okay. Okay.
It's like, oh God, it's very hurtful.
Okay.
So anyways, why don't you, let's see.
Let's go. We'll move on from that.
What else?
Yes. So January, you're coming out. Where do you think we're going to be? What do you hope? I know you offered that lovely rendition, your prayer, a few minutes ago. So I've been thinking major things will change instantaneously as soon as I kind of figured things out about 2.5 years ago. But as we all know, we're here right now. What do you think? Any thoughts in January? Do you think we'll see President Trump back in some capacity, or do you think we'll kind of be more of what's happening right now with a few other changes? What does Granny Rose feel in the predictions, in the psycho predictions for January 2023? What do you see? What do you hope for, and what do you see?
I see what, my sources, I have to go by my sources before I can make a psycho prediction. But my sources are pretty, you know, people know who my sources are. They've seen me talking to, you know, a lot of people, and the people I talk to, they say that, because I'm like, well, you know, I'm supposed to do a stand-up special in January, so I don't even know what kind of jokes I can tell by then, because I certainly don't want to be telling the kind of jokes they'll come and arrest me for, you know.
Yeah.
So are they gonna like lock things down even more so that I can't tell a joke about, you know, any Democrat at all? Are they gonna lock it down that much? Or am I gonna be able to talk about, you know, who's a degenerate, a sexual degenerate of any sort, as long as I say the right party, political party. But you know, they're from both parties, so how do you, am I going to be able to say anything about anyone in public ever again? And I do worry about it. So then I'm like, well, am I going to be able to say anything about the people I worked with for 10 years? And am I going to be able to say anything about the network that fired me? Probably not, Disney. And am I going to be able to say anything about, what am I going to be able to tell jokes about?
Yeah.
The number of comics who defended me, 0. You know, you know, what they did to me. They took my whole life's work. And, you know, they tricked me, they lied to me to get me to sign it over. And now they just laugh that off. I mean, they laugh it off that, you know, they used my mental illness against me and knew they were doing it too. Knew they had me in an emotional bind and just ground my face in the dirt till I signed for, you know, a pittance of what I deserved, and telling me it's okay, we'll renegotiate for next season, and then saying we never said that. I mean, and then no lawyer wanting to represent me, you know, refusing to, it's more like it. Just, you know, over, you know, a mistake. Because like I said, you know, I misgendered someone's race, I guess is the way they'd say it. But like it's a thought crime. But then it became like a thought crime crusade where everyone piled on. And, you know, I feel like, I feel like it was a Jew hating thing too, a real Jew hating thing. And because I felt that before in my life. And plus it was a real woman hating thing where they were bringing that one back big time. Just the punishing a woman forever having stepped out of line thing that they're so good at. And it's just ugly, our country, just ugly, the factions. And, you know, you think they're factions till you keep digging deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole to see, God, they're not even, they're just the same people. There aren't any factions. It's the same people that have all the money, and they pay both sides to fight each other. They pay both sides to fight because they get richer, you know. And people do it because that's how dumb they are. The Americans are real dumb. I mean, they're purposely dumb, you know, but all they can do is just turn on the light and get real smart. You know, there it is, turn on the light, there, click. Now you're real smart. You're not dumb anymore because you don't look the other way. You're not a coward. You actually look at what's there, the monster right in front of you. you know, not the royal family there across the sea. We're really brainwashed, and you know, they have us trained to dissociate from what's right in front of our face. You know, we can't see what's right in front of our nose, and we're proud of it. And that doesn't spell for a very good future, you know. It's not good for us to think that way. It's not good for anybody to think that way in their life about do dee do dee do do dee da do da do. I'm on my phone, you know, just like when I see these mothers at the grocery store and they're on their phone, and excuse me, mothers, that's a sick society.
Yeah. You know what, Roseanne, you said future, because I was about to say future. The reason for it is because when you boil it all down, you believe in liberty and freedom and love and spirituality and goodness. And
I also believe in borders, and fences makes good neighbors, and boundaries. People have the right to say no. People have the right to
I think
say
we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right.
No, people have the right to say you are intruding on my space. Excuse you. People have the right to say, I don't want to hear your opinion right now. I'm eating in a restaurant, excuse me. You know, people have the right to say, hey, chill, man. You're going over my boundaries. You imperialist pig. I don't care what excuse you've got for it. Stay out of my face. You know, people have the right to say that. Yep. And these people, they won't accept it because they're pounders. They just want to keep pounding your face into it. They won't ever stop. It's just like they won't stop till they're stopped. They want to be stopped because they can't stop themselves. You know, like, you know, they can't stop themselves from, you know, pounding people into, you know, from destroying people's lives. And I mean, they can't not do it. They're just programmed to do it. And they can't stop, so they need us to stop them. But we're so programmed into, you know, passivity and not seeing it and not organizing and not stopping it. Even the men, especially the men, they got them so they won't even, they're not even men. I don't know what the hell they are. They're not quite girls, but, you know, they're getting there. They should keep working on it if that's their goal. But I don't know where the hell the men are. There aren't any men that go,
they feel like they can't say anything. They feel, especially white men, feel like they can't say anything at all. You know, it's just one of those things where they're going to be.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't about white men or black. It's about women. None of these men, no matter what their color is, dares to tell their wife or woman or girlfriend or mother-in-law or daughter to sit down and shut. This is not the way women are supposed to be.
It is.
How do we change it, Roseanne?
Well, you show them who they are, and you just hold up the mirror for 2 seconds or the phone. When people see their real self on the phone, they run shrieking in horror if there's anything decent about them. Some of them actually like their self all nasty and ratchet, though. Like, you know, that was Megan the Stallion or whatever. I think she is great, though. I do like her.
Do you know a guy called, have you heard of Andrew Tate? He got cancelled recently. And he talks very much like what you just said in the last 5 minutes. Andrew Tate. He's a guy that, he used to be a kickboxer. He's a businessman. And he, in the last...
Well, no man can say any of this about women. They better shut their yaps and start talking about what weak fuckers they are. Men better talk about men for a change. They better shut their yap and say a word about women. They don't understand us, and they never will. They better shut their yap and start talking about how weak they are as human beings who can't take any direction whatsoever from a woman, because they can't take seriously what any woman says at all, because they are completely like destroyed by their own mother. Their mother didn't pay any attention to them whatsoever. She wasn't there for the kid. I'm telling you, that's what she was programmed to do. It isn't right. Like, if you're going to have kids, you better pay attention to them, period. That's my point. Pay attention to your kids if you're going to have them. If you're not going to pay attention to them, don't have them, period. Now, luckily, this generation, this younger generation, they're not going to get pregnant. They're all sterile. So they don't have to worry about any of that Roe v. Wade stuff. That's a passé thing for them. They don't have to worry about that for a minute. None of them are going to get pregnant. You know, none of them are going to get pregnant. I hope they do some sort of a test.
You know, it'll be interesting to see what becomes of, I mean, we hear all the doctors at these conferences say what's going to come, and then it'll be interesting once that does come to fruition, how the masses are going to react to that information, knowing that they took it and this is the outcome that they're faced with.
It's coming out now, isn't it? They're talking about it now.
It's starting to come out now. I mean, on the internet, it says that, you know, they're, you know, and then maybe those billionaires, they could use their money to solve every problem on earth. This is a practical, common sense solution. They have the money between them. There's like only 2,500 of them, these multi-billionaires. You know, in my opinion, they had some really fucking bad potty training from their mom. That's why they, you know, have such clenched anuses for wealth, you know, because they had bad potty training, because their mom was a whore. Like I said, a whore. That is what is wrong with the entire world. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
No, you're not. That's why it's so funny.
Mothers, psychologically absent mothers destroy a boy. It's a boy can't function. Now, a boy needs a lot of admiration. He's different than a girl. People don't want you to know this too. Need more admiration than girls do from their mother. Girls need a different thing from their mother. They need a challenge from their mother. They don't want you to know that either. They don't want you to think mothers are in any way important in anything. That's exactly what's going on. And they're about to find out different. That boomerang's going to hit them right in the dick, and I'm going to laugh.
Roseanne, you talked about population and, well, sterile. So you remember the Georgia Guidestones got taken out about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And those were those tablets that basically said, by such and such a date, we need the population of the Earth to be below 500 million people. So that's been taken out. So that looks like that's a good marker. It looks like they're working on that. They're working on reversing this mess that you so eloquently and entertainingly, but raw to the bone because it's so on point, have described. So I feel that hopefully there's some kind of
they took it out themselves so they couldn't get sued.
You think it was them that took it out?
Yeah,
okay.
They took it out themselves because now it's like, uh-oh, now they're going to be able to prove that we did it with this. So yeah, it points right back at them. Of course, that they say it right there that they need to decrease the population. You know, they say it right there that they're going to use science to decrease the population down to a manageable number of serfs that they can use to get their lazy billionaire ass off to wherever they go, whatever underground lair they go to.
And they've also said it in other places, like Bill Gates said it.
They were actually just speaking about limited nuclear war. They were actually discussing that, and that they could live off planet, or within the bowels of the earth. They've been working on that for a number of decades, living within the bowels of the earth after a limb.
Oh, you there, Roseanne? Oh, there she is. Can you repeat the last 10 seconds? You kind of froze.
Well, no, I mean, they have everything all figured out, like that they could live within the bowels of Earth after a limited nuclear war. They actually have thought about that.
Yeah.
And people have declassed those dialogues where they're talking like that. How crazy, I mean, how crazy that Yuval, whatever the hell his name is, the one that looks like the alien. I mean, in my mind, it's like, okay, there's chronic masturbators and then there's him. That is like, I mean, my God, that's some chronic masturbation right there, that you'd be so, you wouldn't even get that there's a source for anything. I mean, that's how fucked up shit is. Oh my God, it's fucked up.
It is.
Didn't he? You said if they do enough of what they did, then they'll be able to reduce the population. So there's a few of them that have said it as well. So yeah, if the gravestones have gone down, whoever took them down, there's others that have said it in plain sight that are culprits, that are powerful, you know, they're responsible. So
it's right there in the UN.
There.
It's in the UN itself, the Lucius Trust, where they think he's a smart guy. Whoa.
Well, it might have been the case, but it's coming to an end, isn't it?
I wrote a book where I talked about how to kill. That was in my book, Roseanne. Everyone should go and read that. I don't like how my hair looks at all. But anyway, yeah, I wrote this book, Roseanne, and it ends with a story called The End, and it is how to kill. And when I wrote it, I knew it was gonna do something. And now I'm seeing it's cool. It did something.
And it's published?
Yeah.
Wow.
Roseanne, what you've gone through has shown a lot of people the effects of not seeing, like, you know, being able to see ahead of what's going to happen in terms of like being canceled. I just did a show. I take a George article each week and I highlight it. And this week's was about sexual harassment and how Orwellian it was. Obviously, sexual harassment is not good, but the concept was that now we're going to have police watching over everything we do and making people fearful of what you can and can't say. And now it's playing out in the world of comedians, where they can't say anything or do anything because they'll be canceled instantly. You can't even tell a joke. And this article definitely made me think of you. So it's funny that Tom's like, hey, we're going to go on with Roseanne.
We're going to roast today. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was really the only one that got canceled. Nobody else. I mean, I think that they tried to cancel, you know, I think they tried to cancel Kathy Griffin, but, you know, I think she could. She had a large cushion to fall back on, and she could work. But no, I got canceled and deplatformed, and there's just no. What they did to me is totally unprecedented, and you know. It blows my mind too. Like, oh my God. And it just blows my mind. It's just, I am going to write a book about it. And I think about it. It's like, do I really want to do that? But as things go, I guess I'm going to see how the midterms go. I'm so afraid to say anything because, you know, I wouldn't survive more of their attack on me.
People need to realize that it happens on both sides. It's you today, but just tomorrow it might be someone else. It's, you know what I mean? Like if this line keeps getting pushed, you know, the canceling never ends. And then eventually it's everybody. Then they have everybody in control. So you were just unfortunately the very first, like, boom, that this happened to, you know?
No, I don't think that's true. I think that they threaten other people, but I'm the only one that really got canceled for and what they did to me is unprecedented. They didn't do it to anybody else. They punished me because I became #1. They hated that too. That I became #1 at such a large, it was 28 million, and there's other shows are like, 5 at the tops or something. But, they were angry about that too. There were so many layers to it. It was a real woman hating thing. And it was also very critical race theory crap, which doesn't like Jews much. And, they keep trying to say that doesn't exist, but it certainly does. And that was very horrible. And I lived through that on quite a few levels. And it's disgusting. And also having been somebody who worked really hard for a number of years against child working with survivors, that wasn't looked upon well either. I want people to know that. If people know that, that's cool with me. That I want people to know that that was a large part of it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Did anyone reach out to you when you got taken down, Roseanne?
No.
Anyone? No one at all?
Nope.
So you really learned who your friends were.
But they also stabbed me in the back. They didn't just not reach out. They also gave statements to stick the knife in my back. They all did that. People I helped and whatever, it was stunning. But I realized, wow, that's what you get. That's what you get for, well, just seeing what's real. It's just like, okay, I had to clearly see what was going on, and I did clearly see it, that it's just some ugly stuff that goes on. And I feel like God took me out. God lifted me out. He could have helped me get a little more money before he did that, or think right, but it totally destroyed me. I couldn't even talk for months. And they knew I had mental health issues, and they just exploited them. It's just, that's what really blows my mind. So, and then I always listen to where they're doing that progressive crap about mental health. It blows my mind. But anyway, it's just ugly, ugly, ugly. An ugly place full of ugly people. And I guess I always knew that. But anyway, so anyway. I'm glad I can do stand up. I'm glad I can do stand up. That always was the thing I liked the most. It's where that show Roseanne came from, was my stand up. So yeah. I can always do that. And maybe I'll do another show someday, or maybe I won't. But if I want to, I can. I just don't really want to. I was thinking maybe I'd do another show. I told somebody, maybe I'd do a show where I was a vampire hunter. I'd do a show like that. That'd be fun.
Buffy the
Or
Vampire
like a private
Roseanne.
detective or something, where I could shoot people and stuff. That'd be fun.
Well, you might be able to.
Yeah.
If I can, if I want to, but then you have to get up every day at the same time. I can't do that easy.
Well,
I don't like that kind of thing.
yeah.
Well, the future's ahead of us, Roseanne, and I think, I mean, I can't speak for you, but from what you're saying and from the feeling I'm getting from you, I feel and I pray and I hope that you're past your most critical part of your own storm and you've come out the other end and you're able to guide and help people and give them hope just through your example. So people will be listening and watching this, and you've paid a heavy price, and we're thankful for what you've done. And we all have our own things to bear, but you've borne a very large cross, but you're still living. So we love and thank you for that. And I personally hope that you're through the worst part of your own storm. And when you're saying you're able to do stand up and maybe you'll do a show, that sounds like, well, there's light, there's
Well,
sunshine.
because these people, including Mr. JUAN '07 there, told me that I'm going to be able to bitch my ass to my heart's content by January. So
Oh,
I'm
good.
holding them to it. It better be true, because
Good.
those are the jokes I'm writing.
Okay. I was wondering because we both know him, and yes, well, that's
He
good.
told me I'm going to be able to go all the way in January,
Well, that's not
It's a good
long.
sign.
That's not far.
right?
That's not far. That's a season.
Mm-hmm.
That's not far at all. Wow.
Well, it's far for me because I have to do I have to work the jokes in the clubs, which is scary because to do that kind of material, you never know if people are going to go nuts and start throwing their sperm at you or whatever they're doing these days. Their
Something about
sperm lit
Mary.
on fire at you. I don't know. And that's just the women. I don't know what they're doing.
The women's sperm.
At least we know it won't get you pregnant.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I don't know, but so you got to be kind of careful. But yeah, but I am going to go down there and do some work with Joe Rogan in Texas. So I bought a farm. I thought, what the hell, if I'm going to go do this work, I'm going to live there too. So I got a nice place, but everybody's moving down there to Texas. They better not try to turn it California though. I'm not going to let them do that shit.
No.
Mm-mm.
That Beto O'Rourke, whatever his name is, Calvin O'Rourke. That guy, he's something, isn't he? He's gonna try to take everybody. I'd like to see him try it. Wouldn't that be fun? Talk about the Hunger Games. Somebody should film that when they try to take the Texans.
I know. That's like the one state I would not try to do that.
What have you got planned with Joe? You got a few shows like on his podcast. Or you're going to do a show, Roseanne and Joe together?
No, I'm doing stand up at night in the club.
Ah, you're going to, okay. So
He's
Joe
got a
Rogan
club.
and Roseanne.
Joe's got a club. Yeah, so he invited me to work there, and I'm going to go do it.
And that's in
Awesome.
Houston.
No, for crying out loud, get with it.
Where is the club? I don't know. I'm asking you.
It's in Austin.
Austin. Okay. I thought you said Houston. I misheard you.
Houston is
He's
where
right.
I'm filming in January.
Okay. But Austin is where the club is. I don't think you revealed that, but you might have thought I knew it already.
Yeah,
but I didn't answer the
Austin
question.
is where I'm working, and Houston is where I'm filming.
Okay.
Because
Houston and
supposedly
Austin.
they're quite a bit alike, Austin and Houston. Only one starts with an H and doesn't go ah, it goes huge.
Yeah. Well, I heard the Houston part, but I didn't hear you say Austin. But you might have done. So forgive me for my stupidity, Granny Rose. You know I'm not very bright. I'm quite thick, Tom Numbers. I'm just not very bright, you know? Well, that'd be good. We should come and watch you when you're doing your stand-up at Joe's Pub. We'll come. If I'm here, I might not. I might be back in England by then. But who knows? The world might have changed. I might be able to just come straight back over.
I went on there one night, and it was so fun. My daughter goes, "Don't go on there, Mom. They're not gonna like you. Don't go on there." And she goes, "It's blue. It's a blue audience. Don't go on, Mom. They're not gonna like you." And I said, "Let go of me, you bitch. I know enough about how to get a crowd." And so I went down there, and I don't know why I was brave. I don't know why. I had just enough, what do they call that? Patron. What do they call that? What's that?
Tequila.
Called? Yeah. I had just enough, and I was just brave, and
just on the edge, you know.
I was in a good mood to be funny, and I decided I loved everybody. And so I really did well. In fact, I'd say I killed. In fact, Joe said I fucking murdered, and I love to fucking murder because I'm a psycho. That's why I can predict things and fucking murder in clubs.
With your,
look at that,
with your
look
crystal
at that
tiara.
stare down. She's like, "Don't F with me."
Fierce. She's fierce. Well, it seems like you're going to be all right, Roseanne. You've gone through your annus horribilis, and now you're going to be doing stuff in Austin at the club and growing from there.
Not Houston.
Not Houston.
Austin.
Houston, we have a
Austin,
problem.
And I might go to other places, like I might show up in other towns, like I might go to Honolulu, and I might go to Maui and such, and I might go to, what do they call that town? Arizona, and then Houston. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might go to Utah too. I don't know.
Oh, Utah,
We'll see.
You.
We'll see, but people are being really, I don't know. I think people, I don't know. I don't know what the hell. Who knows?
Well, Granny Rose, it's been real fun talking to you.
Not
and,
really.
Was it as bad as it for you? Was it awful for you? I enjoyed it. That's why I stayed. I didn't walk out.
Yep.
It was okay.
How can we improve it?
Huh?
How can we improve it? What should we do? What should we do to make it better?
I don't know.
Come on, you're holding your tongue now. Say it.
Oh, I think we should smoke pot, perhaps.
I'll call Jack Kidd up and we could do that. I've never done it actually. But,
you guys are probably all sobers by now, all you patriots. That's one thing. That's
no, Rachel likes the red stuff. She likes the red wine.
Oh. See, I don't know. These poor patriots are all sober. That's why they're never, you know, they're not catching things. They're letting a lot of things go by because they're sober. It's just,
well, there's a lot of the, I'm going to give a shout out to the Red Squirrels in the UK. Probably half of them enjoy pot. So.
All right. See, that's what we need to do. Got to stimulate the thinking. How are we going to do things? It's got to be very original, and it's got to have to be very visual and be very internet-ish. I don't know. Yeah. It can't be, it's got to be big.
It's got to be big.
Know.
If you're going to think big. What about your idea for doing a reality show? Because I've seen you and the boys kind of joke around and be like, almost like, you know, at home with the Roseannes, well, with the bars. So anything for that?
You know, well, you know, my one son, he's like, Mom, I don't want to be on camera. I'm like, I don't care what you want, fucker. You're going to do it. And he's like, no, I'm not. I don't want to be on camera. I go, well, then go on a diet and get into it, asshole. You're going to fucking do it. And so,
I know which son that is.
what?
Oh, so funny.
Because there's one that's always doing the show with you, so it's not him, but yeah, bless him. But everyone's got their skill sets, you know.
Well,
so do you think that might happen?
I'll give him another chance.
You
He
give him another
started
chance.
playing the drums, and that's going good. I don't know. One of my sons are, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard when, you know, it's hard to be a woman. That's all I'll say. It's hard to be a mother.
I would concur.
And it's hard to be 70 years old. I'm going to be 70 this year. That is not easy. I tell you what, it isn't easy.
What day is your birthday, Roseanne? I know we've done it before, but I can't remember. When's
Oh,
your birthday?
November 3rd. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
figure that
yeah.
out, 'cause
There
that's,
you go.
you know, 11/3.
I
Yeah.
know. 3/11.
Figure that one out for me. It's 11/3/1952. I was born.
Well, 11/3 is trumpet, is universe. You talked about in the midterms. That's going to be just a few days after 11/3. And if you're 1952, comes to 71, which comes to smart. And I know you and me aren't that smart, but you know, 71 is, and Lady Diana is 71. Not in age, but in numbers. Moses is 71. Flynn is 71. Yeah, 71. That's one of the first
It's
numbers that
also
came up with.
backward 17, which is Esther.
There you go.
That's what I did
Hey.
this for. I said, flip
So
it.
Ray's just flipped it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, which is the flip. That's cool. 71 and 17. That's a good flip, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
It's a
That
nice
comes
flip.
out to 8 plus 8. 8 plus 8 equals 16, which is 4, which is 2, which is 1.
And you know what 8/8 is? It's
What?
Trump. It's the Lion's Gate.
Oh, I
Hey,
didn't know.
you're like this one, Roseanne. So this is one I discovered in the last few months. But you know, when Donald is on stage and he's doing his rallies, he's got the text donation campaign number, and the number is 88022. So people text a donation, you know, text a donation to his campaign. But 8888 is Trump, and then 107 always says drop the 0. So you've got 22 left, and 22 is MAGA. So 88 plus 22 MAGA, so Trump plus MAGA, and it comes to 110, which is president. So when President Trump's up there, when Donald's up there, you're a friend, or you're a friend from the past. I don't know, you know. It comes to 110 president. So Donald Trump knows the numbers. He knows simple gematria. As Tom Numbers disseminate the info out there, he knows, and he's the one that taught me.
I don't think he's I don't think he has decided whether he's going to run or not.
Huh. Is that a hunch, or do you know?
That's a hunch.
Okay.
And I think that, you know, he's kind of thinking like, is it going to make it worse or better for people if I do? Because look how they keep coming at him. You know, what could he accomplish unless he has, you know, people on his side? But I mean, geez, there's none of that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any of that. So I think he's trying to figure what he can do that would be helpful to the working people.
Yeah.
Those are the people he was really talking to, is the working class people. So it's like he's trying to say something to them, you know. He's trying to leave them with something, and it's like, you know, that's why they got like these armed IRS guys coming for people who make less than, I mean, oh my God. That's just that's just so scary.
Nonsense.
That's like coming in and repossessing your TV in front of your kids type stuff.
Yeah. It's not worth it, is
Yeah.
it? It's ridiculous. You know, you said about whether he'll run again or not. So you picked up the 17. I said 71 for 1952. And then you said, that's a reverse. That's a 17. That's a flip. So recently we saw President Trump got raided by the FBI at his home in Mar-a-Lago. So if you do the numbers on FBI, that comes to 17. And he said in his statement, I can see your expression. He said, we've been raided and occupied, and he made a big thing of occupied, by the FBI. FBI is 17. The ICE patrol is down on the border. ICE is 17 as well. And that number on his text donation campaign is 88022. He got raided on August 8th, August the 8th month. So he got raided on 8/8 in the year of 2022. So I think Donald's many steps ahead on all of that. But we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean,
I think it's a reverse of what we're being told. That's my own opinion. I don't know, but I believe
what
it's
does that mean? I mean, what does that mean? The thing we're all waiting for is anything, is anyone going to be held to any sort of
I think so.
justice?
Well, what we did a show with Juan just a few days ago, and he talked about the matador in the ring, and he said, meaning President Trump is the matador, and he's baiting the bull, he's softening them up, he's poking them, and he's saying, bring it on. You want fresh info, you want fresh meat, go to Mar-a-Lago, raid my house. And they're saying, well, the information, the classified information is going to flip on them. It's going to be the Esther moment. So he's saying, come on. And then it's everything that they think they're going to get on him is going to be flipped on them. And then that's why Juan is so kind of chilled out and telling you to do things in January.
Didn't he say we were round 3 too?
Yeah, he said we're in round 3. So he said there's 3 rounds, and we're in the third. We're in the beginning of the 3rd round of the bullfight. That's what he said. So I don't know how long the bullfight goes for, but if he's telling you
asked him,
to set
how
up,
many rounds are there?
yeah, 3
and
rounds.
He said 3.
Yeah.
So
we're at the beginning of the 3rd one. I don't know how long the 3rd one will last, but it seems good if he's telling you to, uproot and go to Texas and start being a full comedian again.
What are they talking about? The whole Red October thing. That's the same. That's a boomerang thing too.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah.
Red October is like the ultimate. It's a nuclear boomerang.
Yeah.
That's what I think. See, I have that in there because everybody's talking about that too. Like when they're talking about a limited nuclear. I mean, over there in what are we doing over there? Oh, I forget the name of it. The Ukraine. That's funny because, a lot of my family comes from the Ukraine,
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's
they're the ones that said today, I saw it on the internet in some news form, that they have discussed limited nuclear war. They're Zelensky's fans. That guy. I mean, he's like a Mick Jagger wannabe. And if people have they
the green
seen
t-shirt.
him, have they seen him in the dancing in the panties, in the high heels? Have people seen that?
I think some have, but maybe not everyone. Yeah.
Hello.
I think the movie's really going to get going now. As with all of this, time will tell. But I think the market we saw, 2 days ago with the Queen, I think prior to that with the raid, with the FBI raid, and I think that's a complete opposite of what we're being told. But it's setting the trap. It's setting the scenario, I think. But time will tell. Time will tell.
Well, it's the movie, isn't it? It's like, okay, you got to think of it as it's the movie. It always says it's the movie. But it is a movie because you think about the clips we've seen from, Trump going to Saudi Arabia and then making him the king, doing the king dance where he becomes the king. And everywhere he goes, including walking in front of the Queen, you see that, that wait a minute, and they're making that's the movie. That's the movie they're putting together. And we just haven't seen it yet, but you know, we will see it. And I think that movie that trailer they've been running, which is, you know, the storm, the guy in front of the car and the whole thing, you know, they're putting together this great movie. It's going to be the best movie in the world.
Exactly.
It's going to be so good. And I don't know how long it's going to last. It's probably 108 minutes is my guess, or 100 and something like, I don't know. You should figure that out. We should figure that out, how long it's going to be.
Or 300, a 3-hour
107.
movie, 180 minutes for a flip.
Or it could be like 107, you know, but I don't think it would just be an hour and 7. It wouldn't be that. It'd be like maybe an hour and 70 minutes. It could be that.
210.
Probably an hour and 70 minutes.
Yeah. You said about Donald Trump being the king. So have you been to Mar-a-Lago before?
No.
So just
I
as you
was
come
gonna
up,
go, but I chickened out.
did you?
I chickened out to go because I'm like, what are the odds that they're gonna? I've always felt that they would, you know, there'd be something that would happen there.
It's
too
nice.
obvious.
It's lovely. I went there last year for an afternoon in November, and if you come from West Palm Beach, the mainland side, you drive over a bridge, and then you can see Mar-a-Lago on the left, the back end of it, with the lawn and the back part of the property. But just as you come up to the bridge, there's a huge 333 on a building, and it's a dentist building. And dentist is 91, which is POTUS, which is future, which is liberty. And that's what I wanted to say about you, because your name, Roseanne, is 91. So you also represent liberty and a good future. And then building is 78, which is Kennedy. But the number is 333. And 333 comes to Donald Trump is king of the world. And so if he's been walking in front of the Saudis and they've given him that, he's been walking in front of Queen Elizabeth and all the other entities, then I concur with you, Roseanne, that, yeah, something's going on. And he's being made king by all these other people. And the number literally on his doorstep, and it's huge. It's a massive, you can't miss it. It's a 333. And it's put there deliberately, I think, as a marker, because his palace, Mar-a-Lago, is just across the water. So.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to let up on him. I think they're going to really.
He's going to keep welcoming it. He's going to keep baiting him. Yeah. I
think they're going to try to indict him. I think they are trying to indict him. I don't know if that's what people are saying. Is he going to be the first arrest that? Yeah. You know.
Yeah, maybe. The timeline's changed.
Who knows? You know, the thing is, nobody knows. None of us know what's going to happen. Nobody does.
No.
You know, the most important thing, the thing that was good about and is good about the whole Q deal. I wish they'd quit saying QAnon, because there's no such thing. But the whole Q thing is that, you know, it does keep us plugged into the now. You know, being aware of the now, because that's what really we need to do, is be aware of what's right in front of our face in the now. And, you know, knowing what the source of everything is a good thing, you know, and that's why we have the internet. That's a good thing. Know the source.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. I think things are trying to be righted and fixed. I know that, you know, when they say it's infiltration, not invasion, or invasion and infiltration. Yeah. I know that a lot of people have gone from bad to good. I hear from a lot of people. And that they do tell me that they went from bad to good. So I know there's a lot of infiltrated good folk everywhere.
That's good.
It's good to know.
Yeah, it is good. It is good to know. I think people need to hold on to that, and that it's got a good ending. And, you know, it is all the classic things about loving your neighbor and all those good things.
Yeah. Well, Roseanne.
All right.
It has been a pleasure. So
Oh, okay.
we'll do better next time, but it's been fun. So God bless you for
Next time
everything.
we'll have to smoke pot or something. I don't know. I'm not very funny anymore. I'm old and, you know, I'm not very funny or cool or anything. Mostly I just have a lot of trouble with my bowels. I can't get regular. I just can't. And I think that
Gee,
taking
you're giving us
charge
so
of
much to
all
look
my
forward to.
thoughts. That's why I'm not very funny, because that's all I'm thinking about is my bowel movements. But anyway, it was nice being with y'all.
Thanks, Roseanne.
Likewise.
Bye.
God bless. See you soon. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.